Good evening. Let's read one more. I start to get tired. It's 8:20 p.m. I like to watch the news 9 p.m.
Nazi concentration camp badge. Schematic of the triangle base badge system in use at most Nazi concentration camps. Nazi concentration camp badges, primarily triangles, were part of the system of identification in German camps. They were used in the concentration camps in the German-occupied countries to identify the reason the prisoners had been placed there. 1. The triangles were made of fabric and were sewn on jackets and trousers of the prisoners. These mandatory badges of shame had specific meanings indicated by their color and shape. Such emblems helped guards assign tasks to their detainees. For example, a guard at a glance could see if someone was a convicted criminal, green patch, and thus likely of a tough temperament suitable for capo duty. Someone with an escape suspect mark usually would not be assigned to work squads operating outside the camp fence. Someone wearing an F could be called upon to help translate guards' spoken instructions to a trainload of new arrivals from France. Some historical monuments quote the badge imagery, with the use of a triangle being a sort of visual shorthand to symbolize all camp victims. The modern-day use of a pink triangle emblem to symbolize gay rights is a response to the camp identification patches. Badge coding system. Prisoners' distinguishing badges. The system of badges varied between the camps, and in the later stages of World War II the use of badges dwindled in some camps and became increasingly accidental in others. The following description is based on the badge coding system used before and during the early stages of the war in Dachau concentration camp, which had one of the more elaborate coding systems. Shape was chosen by analogy with the common triangular road hazard signs in Germany that denote warnings to motorists. Here, a triangle is called inverted because its base is up while one of its angles points down. Single triangles. Red triangle: political prisoners, social democrats, liberals, socialists, communists, anarchists, Gentiles who assisted Jews, trade unionists and Freemasons. Green triangle: convicts and criminals, often working as capos. Blue triangle: foreign forced laborers and emigrants. This category included apatrides, Spanish refugees from France, Spain, whose citizenship was revoked, and migrants to countries which were occupied by Nazi Germany or were under German sphere of influence. 2. Purple triangle: primarily Jehovah's Witnesses, over 99%, as well as members of other small pacifist religious groups. Notes 1. Pink triangle: primarily homosexual men and those who were identified as such at the time, for example, bisexual men, male prostitutes, trans women, 3, 4, 5, and sexual offenders as well as pedophiles and zoophiles. 6. Many in this group were subject to forced sterilization. 7. Black triangle: people who were deemed asocial elements, asocial, and work shy, albeit few, including the following: Roma and Sinti. They wore the black triangle with a Z notation, for Zigeuner, meaning gypsy, to the right of their triangle's point. Roma were later assigned a brown triangle. 8. Mentally ill and developmentally disabled. Their triangles were additionally inscribed with the word blood, meaning stupid. 9, 10. This category included, notably, autistic people among this group. though many others including schizophrenic and epileptic. 7. People were forcibly sterilized, shot, or gassed in psychiatric institutions as opposed to the Nazi camps. 11. Alcoholics and drug addicts, vagrants and beggars, pacifists and conscription resistors, sex workers. 12. 13. Lesbians. 14. Other disabled people, such as people with diabetes, as diabetes was conceptualized as a Jewish disease not necessarily because its prevalence was high among this population, but because medicine, science, and culture reinforced each other. 15. Brown triangle assigned to Roma later on in the Romani Holocaust. Uninverted red triangle an enemy POW, Sonderhafteling, meaning special detainee, a spy or traitor, Action Schafteling meaning activities detainee, or a military deserter or criminal, Wehrmachtsangereiger, meaning armed forces member. Some period examples of the single triangle design at Nazi camps. Single triangle badges in various colors visible on Sachsenhausen concentration camp detainees. Single triangle badges in various colors visible on Sachsenhausen concentration camp detainees. Single triangles visible on Sachsenhausen detainees. Single triangles visible on Sachsenhausen detainees. Specimen indicating a Jehovah's Witness. Specimen indicating a Jehovah's Witness. Red emblems of a political enemy on a Dachau detainee's clothing carrot. Red emblems of a political enemy on a Dachau detainee's clothing carrot. More Sachsenhausen detainees. More Sachsenhausen detainees. Black triangles visible on the trousers of Romani detainees at Dachau. Black triangles visible on the trousers of Romani detainees at Dachau. United States Army photo of Austrian economist and financial specialist Benedikt Kautsky, a political prisoner, who was liberated from Buchenwald. United States Army photo of Austrian economist and financial specialist Benedikt Kautsky, a political prisoner who was liberated from Buchenwald. Liberated Neuengamme survivor standing on the right has a triangle patch with a top bar. Liberated Neuengamme survivor standing on the right has a triangle patch with a top bar. German concentration camp badge for Polish, non-Jewish, political prisoner in Stachov. ID 29659 Nadia Glochuska. German concentration camp badge for Polish, non-Jewish, political prisoner in Stachov. ID 29659 Nadia Glochuska. Double triangles. Double triangle badges resemble two superimposed triangles forming a Star of David, a Jewish symbol. Red inverted triangle superimposed upon a yellow one representing a Jewish political prisoner. Blue inverted triangle superimposed upon a red one representing foreign forced labor and political prisoner, for example Spanish Republicans in Mortos N. 16. Green inverted triangle superimposed upon a yellow one representing a Jewish habitual criminal. Purple inverted triangle superimposed upon a yellow one representing a Jehovah's Witness of Jewish descent. Pink inverted triangle superimposed upon a yellow one representing a Jewish sexual offender, typically a gay or bisexual man or trans woman. Black inverted triangle superimposed upon a yellow one representing an asocial or work-shy Jew. Voided black inverted triangle superimposed over a yellow triangle representing a Jew convicted of miscegenation and labeled as a Rassenskinder, race defiler. Yellow inverted triangle superimposed over a black triangle representing an Aryan woman convicted of miscegenation and labeled as a Rassenskinder, race defiler. Like those who wore pink and green triangles, people in the bottom two categories would have been convicted in criminal courts. Some period examples of the double triangle design at Nazi camps. Sachsenhausen detainee with glasses in the foreground wears a two-color ID emblem, Sachsenhausen detainee with glasses in the foreground wears a two-color ID emblem. Disabled Jews with a black triangle on a yellow triangle, meaning a social Jews. Buchenwald, 1938. Disabled Jews with a black triangle on a yellow triangle meaning a social Jews. Buchenwald, 1938. Part of the Dachau roll call day badges visible on detainees. Part of the Dachau roll call day badges visible on detainees. Sachsenhausen detainees red political enemy triangle atop a yellow Jew triangle, lower left. Sachsenhausen detainees red political enemy triangle atop I allow Jew triangle, lower left. Distinguishing marks. In addition to color coding, non-German prisoners were marked by the first letter of the German name for their home country or ethnic group. Red triangle with a letter, for example B, Belgia, Belgians. E, Inlander, English, in practice used for all British. F, Franzosen, French. I, Italiener, Italians. J, 17, Czechoslovan, Yugoslavs. N, Nederlander, Dutch. No, Norwegia, Norwegian. P, Poland, Poles. S, Republicanist Spania, Republican Spanish. T, Czech, Czechs. U, Ungarn, Hungarians. Z notation next to a black triangle, Zigeuner, Gypsy. Polish emigrant laborers originally wore a purple diamond with a yellow backing. A letter P, for Poland, was cut out of the purple cloth to show the yellow backing beneath. Furthermore, repeat offenders, rückfällig, meaning recidivists, would receive bars over their stars or triangles, a different color for a different crime. A political prisoner would have a red bar over their star or triangle. A professional criminal would have a green bar. A foreign forced laborer would not have a blue bar, as their impressment was for the duration of the war, but might have a different colored bar if they were drawn from another pool of inmates. A Jehovah's Witness would have a purple bar. A homosexual or sex offender would have a pink bar. An asocial would have a black bar. Roma and Sinti would usually be incarcerated in special subcamps until they died and so would not normally receive RP strike. Later in the war, late 1944, to save cloth Jewish prisoners wore a yellow bar over a regular point-down triangle to indicate their status. For instance, regular Jews would wear a yellow bar over a red triangle while Jewish criminals would wear a yellow bar over a green triangle. Special marks. Many various markings and combinations existed. A prisoner would usually have at least 2 and possibly more than 6. Limited preventative custody detainee. Befristet Vorbugangschaft Häftling, or BV, was the term for general criminals, who wore green triangles with no special marks. They originally were only supposed to be incarcerated at the camp until their term expired and then they would be released. However, when the war began they were confined indefinitely for its duration. Hangschaft Lynch, reformatory inmates, wore EOA in large black letters on a white square. They were made up of intellectuals and respected community members who could organize and lead a resistance movement. Suspicious persons picked up in sweeps or stopped at checkpoints. People caught performing conspiratorial activities or acts and inmates who broke work discipline. They were assigned to hard labor for 6 to 8 weeks and were then released. It was hoped that the threat of permanent incarceration at hard labor would deter them from further action. Polizeihaftlynch, police inmates, short for Polizeiliche police secure custody inmates, wore either PH in large black letters on a white square or the letter S, for secure custody, on a green triangle. To save expense, some camps had them just wear their civilian clothes without markings. Records used the letter PSV, Polizeiliche to designate them. They were people awaiting trial by a police court-martial or who were already convicted. They were detained in a special jail barracks until they were executed. Some camps assigned Nacht und Nebel, night and fog. Prisoners had them wear 2 large letters NN in yellow. Soviet prisoners of war, Russische Kriegsgefangenen, assigned to work camps, Arbeitslager, wore 2 large letters SU, for Sowjetische Untermensch, meaning Soviet subhuman, in yellow and had vertical stripes painted on their uniforms.